Hi, everybody. Okay, it's 12 o'clock already, but some students are probably still trying to join in. This is Nigeria. So there's the African time mentality. They probably want to wait a little. Some people are still joining in.
Chidi, we are live now, and
Yeah.
please give the introduction.
All right, thank you. Hi, everybody. All right, so if you're not speaking today, I would like you to mute your mic and your video because the session is going to be live. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be having an interactive session with Falmouth University where we'll be learning more about the business programs that are available in Falmouth. Joining us today from Falmouth University, we have Andrian, which is the head of business at Cornwall Business School. We have Judith, who is studying international business. We have Khadija, she's a Nigerian and she's studying textile. So we'll also be learning more about the University of Falmouth Business School. We'll be learning generally about Falmouth's facts, figures, ranking, and about city. At the end of this session, please send in your questions in the chat box. I'll be available to read them out. Hello, can you hear me, please?
Welcome to Falmouth University. I'm Dr. Seamus O'Brien and I'm the Director for the Cornwall Business
Hello,
School.
Deepika.
Yes, Chidi.
I can see you already started the video.
I thought the introduction is over. Is it? Hello.
No, it wasn't. I was going to tell them about and putting in their questions in
Continue
the chat box.
Start it again. No problem at all. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay. No, that's fine. So it's just for them to put, please, everybody, if you're going to be asking any question, just drop it in the chat box. You don't need to unmute your mic. Just put it there. I'll read out your question at the end of the session. All right, thank you. Hi, Deepika, you can continue. Sorry.
Sure.
Welcome to Falmouth University. I'm Dr. Seamus O'Brien and I'm the Director for the Cornwall Business School. At Falmouth, we do business differently. It's where creativity meets commerce and ideas and innovation are given space to grow. We do not see entrepreneur as a job title, we think of it as a characteristic. We will focus on equipping you with future-facing real-world skills. We will introduce you to professional networks such as Launchpad, Startup Community, Cornwall Chamber of Commerce, Visit Cornwall and many more.
Hi, I'm Amelia Cruz. I graduated from Falmouth University last year and I studied business and digital marketing. I currently work at Co-op Energy, working on renewable energy projects, and I'm extremely environmentally centred and obsessed with the sea. I would say my most favourite memory of studying BSc Business and Digital Marketing at Falmouth was getting to collaborate with so many amazing people and just being able to hear everybody's ideas and just create some amazing work all together. There's two fundamental things that Falmouth University taught me that has really helped me with my career so far. And the first one is the sense of creativity and utilising that within my work, because it just adds a different perspective and it's something that a lot of people maybe don't bring to the table. It also helps you to find your purpose and find your driver, which has been really, really essential when I was going for my first interviews to start to develop my career.
My name is Adrian Bossy and I'm Head of Business and Experience Design here at Cornwall Business School. As part of my role, I'm responsible for the academic delivery across our undergraduate, postgraduate and CPD short course provision. Being based at Falmouth University and surrounded by students on creative disciplines is fantastic in terms of embedding a spirit of innovation and ingenuity into our students across our courses in business, marketing and experience and tourism courses. In part, our students learn by doing it for real, addressing challenges that they've been set and working within our fantastic facilities on Penryn campus. When working in groups, our students are able to use our Google Office type space where they can work in teams to address the challenges they've been set. And we also bring in numerous industry speakers and take students on field trips and set industry-based challenges as part of their assignments. We are keen to foster an ethical approach in terms of sustainability, well-being, perhaps inspired by the beautiful surroundings here within Cornwall. Upon graduation, our students enter a range of industries. One example would be Zach Hancock, who graduated from our Creative Events Management course in 2016. Zach had taken a placement with Spotify while he was at Falmouth, and he used the connections that he'd made to get a job for the social chain. When Zach started working there were 30 people and he had a team of 2. When he left 18 months later, there were 750 employees and he had a team of 38 reporting to him. He then went on to set up his own business.
Just did a pretty sketchy TikTok.
Some of the jobs that will be available to you upon graduation don't necessarily exist at the point that you enter the course. So that fast-moving side of the jobs market is something that we really tune our courses to help you succeed when you graduate.
I'm Chloe and I'm an accelerated business and management student, and I also have my own business. I also do a multiple of other things as well. The most important thing I've learned is that portfolio is everything. Gaining experience, networking, meeting with people, potential employers, and collaborating with people at the university as well. It will be the way you get into your career, I believe.
So if you're interested in doing it for real in the worlds of business, marketing, experience design, then Falmouth University may well be the place to you, and we really look forward to meeting you, perhaps at an open day or an on-campus visit. Okay guys, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to give you a quick presentation around our courses, and then what we'll do is leave plenty of time for a discussion, for you to ask questions to us, etc. I'm just going to double check that people can hear me before I plunge onwards.
Yes, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Okay, so as it said in the short film there, my name's Adrian Bossy and I am Head of Business and Experience Design here at the Cornwall Business School. So that means I'm responsible for the undergraduate and the postgraduate provision here. And what I'm going to do is talk to you about our suite of undergraduate courses. And I'll also talk to you about our postgraduate offer because I've been asked to cover both of those. I think someone's raised their hand, but perhaps what we could do is put questions into the chat and I'll take them afterwards if that's okay. But thank you for going for it. Okay, so in terms of our undergraduate courses then, this is what our provision looks like. So we have a suite of 3 business and courses. So they're BSc Business and Digital Marketing, BSc Business and Entrepreneurship, and BSc Business and Management. Sorry, Business Management. Those courses are all 3-year courses and they are all based on our Penryn campus, and quite a bit of the footage of facilities that you saw when you were watching the film was of the Penryn campus in beautiful Cornwall. We are also commencing an online BSc Hons Business and Marketing. That is starting in September this year. And that's available as a 2-year course or a 3-year part-time course. And as I say, that's an online offer. So that's the business side of the school at undergraduate. We also have an experience design suite of courses. So we have BA Hons Creative Events Management, BA Hons Sustainable Festival Management, and BA Hons Sustainable Tourism Management. Of those, the Creative Events Management course is a 3-year course,
and the other two are 2-year accelerated courses, which are split site between the Penryn campus and the Eden project. Now, there was some footage of the Eden project within the earlier film as well. It's a visitor, it's a world-renowned sustainable visitor attraction based in Cornwall, which is centered around, it's built in an abandoned quarry site, a huge abandoned clay quarry, and it's centered around 2 giant biomes which contain different, one has a tropical environment within it and the other has a Mediterranean environment. So that's our courses, and that's where they're sort of geographically based within Cornwall. What I'm now going to do is talk through each of those just a little bit more. I'm going to try and augment the material that's on our website. So if you want more information, if you want to see more images of our campuses, etc., then please do go to falmouth.ac.uk, which is our website, and you'll see plenty of information there around the courses that we offer, our facilities and other support. Just waiting for this to move across. There we go. So whichever course you study with us, we have an ethos which includes this sense of doing it for real. I think that came across in the film, didn't it? That sense that if you come and study with us, you will absolutely be working on live projects, live industry briefs. You'll be out on short placements. You'll be engaging with a range of industrial sectors, including the one that, you know, hopefully you want to then continue in with your career. So at Falmouth, you'll get the chance to engage with short placement opportunities. We run a micro placement opportunity for 1 week per study block. At Falmouth, we have 3 study blocks, and there is 12 weeks of teaching in each of those study blocks. So in Cornwall Business School, one of those weeks is dedicated to a placement week. That is to support students to take micro placements, and students have the opportunity to take up to 6 micro placements whilst they're with us. And those micro placements can be super powerful learning vehicles for you. They give you the chance to apply some of the theory and techniques that you've learned, and then there'll be assignments that help you reflect on how that worked within a placement environment. That example in the film that you just watched of Zach, who was a creative events management student, the connections that he made during his placement have absolutely powered his whole career to date. He's got definitely a career to be surprised and impressed by. Okay, so placement opportunities is the first thing. We're also introducing, as well as those short micro placements, we're also introducing the possibility for students to take a sandwich year as well, so a whole year out in placement. So that also will be part of our offer from this September. Second major sort of platform in terms of doing it for real is that our students have the chance to work with our student agency Galos. This image of the sun rising over the sea is the logo for that agency. The way it works is that we create a agency environment where you can look at ways that you can earn while you learn, but earn in terms of within the area that you're looking to study. And then finally, you get the opportunity to certainly deliver your own events and campaigns, conceive your own businesses. You need to be aware that there are visa restrictions around actually physically starting businesses in the UK if you come in on a student visa. So it's not that we're necessarily saying you can do that as an international student, but we are saying that you could scope out business opportunities, etc. Certainly run your own events, run your own marketing campaigns, etc. And that all becomes part of the assessed environment that you're operating in. So having given that sort of general overview, I'm hoping my slide is going to catch up with me in a second, and I'm going to talk to you about the first of the courses. There we go. Okay, so our suite of 3 experience design courses then: creative events management, sustainable festival management, sustainable tourism management. We are currently ranked 3rd in the UK by The Guardian, so that's our ranking for this year. Last year we were 6th, so we're going up the rankings, which is a brilliant thing. And we're really pleased and proud of that. And we think that that's because we've taken a really innovative approach to these courses. So the first one is the Creative Events Management course. So as I said before, that's a 3-year course. There are 4 assessed events within that. So 1 in your first year, 2 in your second year, 1 in your third year. That's more than any other event management course in the UK that we are aware of. You also have those micro-placement opportunities that I talked about. And just to give you some examples of some of the modules that you'll be studying, in your first year, you'll take 6 modules, including a module around well-being in experience management. Now that's super important when you're working in a team and you're dealing with event audiences, subcontractors, etc., etc. That sense of being aware of people's well-being, looking after their safety is super important. In your second year, you'll take another 6 modules, including the legal and financial management and experience design module, where that does what it says on the tin, really, in terms of what you're going to be looking at. And in your third year, an example module there, you will take 5 modules in your third year, example being creative and ethical leadership. We're really keen to bring the sense of creativity that you're surrounded by at Falmouth into your approach. This is super important in the world of work at the moment, because in a situation where lots of traditional jobs are effectively being digitized, so I give you accountancy software or law bots, creativity cannot currently be digitized in that way, and creativity drives innovation, which powers new business startups and new products and new ideas. So we really tie in to this sort of creative part of Falmouth and bring that through in some of our modules. So that's a quick overview of our Creative Events Management course. Next course I'm going to just tell you about a little bit is our Sustainable Festival Management course. On this course, it's a 2-year accelerated course. You take your first year at our Penryn campus and your second year at the Eden project. This image is of an event at the Eden project. They run a series of Eden sessions, which are live music festivals. So you get the chance to engage with those. And examples of some modules here, you've got marketing and digital media in your first year. So that's one of 6 first year modules. Does what it says on the tin. You've got crisis management for festivals and events, which is actually a 3rd year module. I've got these 2 bullets in the wrong way around. Apologies, everyone. So that's around, what if something happens? How do we react? And that's something. There's a module which we've started. We taught it first this year to a cohort of students, and they absolutely loved it. We set up a crisis scenario to assess them. It's a brilliant module. And then, just to go back to your second year on this course, you'll take a live sustainable festival project there. So this sense of sustainability is hardwired through all of our courses, and really explicitly in this course and the next one that I'm going to talk to you about, which is our Sustainable Tourism Management course. So again, a 2-year course in partnership with the Eden project, with a year at Eden, with the micro placements that I've told you about. Here are some examples of modules on this course. So in your first year, you've got Sustainable Tourism Guide. So in that one, you are working in a team to create a guided tour of what, I think you saw on the introduction film there, the beautiful surroundings that we're in here in Cornwall, with lots of visitors in terms of tourists. So that module asks you to put together a tour, a guided tour, and to advertise it and run it, and you're assessed on how you do that. It's a fun module. Sustainability module in the middle there in your second year. So that's one of 6 modules that you take during your second year, or I say year, in this case, really it's that level 5, because you're compressing 3 years of traditional degree into 2 years of an accelerated degree. And then example of one of your last modules, that in your final study block, you would be taking an international destination project. So that's where you are actually going to a different country to look at some tourist developmental type issues there in terms of destination management and running a project that links to that. So that is our 3 experience design courses here at Cornwall Business School. I'm now going to talk to you about our business degrees. So just a reminder then that these are our degrees in business and digital marketing, business and entrepreneurship, and business management. And those 3 degrees are all on campus 3-year degrees. So they have some shared modules. And so, you can see some examples here drawn from different levels of study, actually. So market intelligence, that's one of the early modules that you would take. It's about, setting up. It's so crucial across that business environment to understand, what the external environment is like. What's the market doing? What does it want? How can I engage with that? How do I research that market? You've also got an art of strategy module, which I currently teach at level 4. That's quite an unusual thing to do, but the rationale for it is that if you learn about a strategic approach at the beginning of your degree, you can actually adopt a strategic approach all through your degree, as well as once you graduate and go into the world of business. We've got modules around navigating uncertainty, financial modules, sustainability module, and towards the end, a couple I'd like to just focus in terms of this bullet pointed list. There's in your first year, you will take a design thinking module. Now, design thinking is a way of solving really complex, tricksy problems. And again, it's giving you some creative skills that you can apply within the workplace and during your degree. And it's another one of the sort of distinctive USPs, really, of Falmouth's business and courses in terms of our delivery. Okay. Each course then, as well as shared modules, also has some specialist modules. And what this means is that the cohort sizes that you're engaging with will flex over time. So for some of your modules, you will be in a just your course cohort. So you might be with, let's say, 25, 30 other students in an individual cohort. In some of the other ones, the ones that I just showed you, the shared ones, you might be in a cohort up to sort of 75, 80 students in the cohort. It's still a human scale operation at Falmouth. We get to know people. We have nice sized cohorts. We get to know our students really quickly. They get to know us, and it's a nice sort of community vibe. So in terms of specialist modules, I'm just going to give a couple of examples on each of these slides. I'm not going to talk to all of them because I really want to keep some time for you guys to ask us questions. So here's a couple of examples then from the business and digital marketing degree that we run. So consumer psychology and emotion by design. So this is a level 5 module, so important to understand that piece if you're trying to sell things to people. What motivates me or you to buy something? We've also got I'll just use one other example here. We've got a collaborative project, marketing in digital environments. So that's taken as, on the 3-year course, that's taken as a level 5 module as well. That's an opportunity to work on a live brief with a business. It's about to run this study block, and they're working with businesses from our Launchpad program. And I'll tell you a bit more about that a little bit later in this presentation. So, business and entrepreneurship. Again, it has some specialist modules. I'm going to just flag up a couple, but you can see the list. We have one around well-being in business. So a bit like the well-being module I was talking about in the experience design, so important to look after the well-being of yourself, your team, your customers and clients to the degree that you can within business. It's a really difficult to run a team if their well-being is suffering, isn't it? So, or if your well-being is suffering. So that's a hugely important part of a sort of ethical approach and what we are teaching here. There's also a module here about global economies and international markets. So that's a kind of globalized approach to this. So we're not just sat in Cornwall in a beautiful place, just thinking about Cornwall. We are absolutely thinking about the world of business all around the globe. Our business and management course, I'll give you a couple of examples of bespoke modules in there. I'm just picking from these lists because you can see what they are. So a human resource management module, you take that in the first study block of your second year with us, learning about how to manage people, HRM, super important as a management practitioner. Also a module around responsive leadership and social change. So again, how do we take a sort of ethical approach to leadership and management, given the challenges that face us in the world? So that's our business management course. So how do we assess you? Well, we don't give exams. We think that by the time students reach us, they've done enough of individual exams. What we do is a kind of varied diet of assessments that run through our courses. So you might be asked to develop a market research portfolio or a project plan. You might be able to, you might be asked to pitch a business idea. That might be in person, or it might even be a digital pitch, a bit like the one I'm giving now. You might be asked to complete a critical journal or an online blog. There'll be some academic assignments as well, perhaps an essay. We also will ask you to write a business plan. If you're working on those events and experience design courses, you'll be delivering live events as well. You'll be risk assessing, a whole range of different aspects to our assessments. And you'll be doing those on a sort of study block by study block basis, and they'll be linked to your to the modules that you're taking. So just to say a little bit about our academic staff. So we at Falmouth employ staff who have, because we take this doing it for real approach, so we provide you with the theory, the academic theory and the expertise, and we provide you with the opportunities to test that theory out. So because of that, we have academic staff who have a mixed background, okay? So generally speaking, most of our academics have experience in industry and experience in academia, often at a kind of a high level. Our staff are award-winning in terms of their academic practices and also and research practices, and they're also research or innovation active, which means that they are currently engaged in issues that affect the sector that they teach against, and so they can bring that back into their teaching. I'll give you an example. It seemed fairest to pick on myself. So my background is in the music industry. I used to be a music manager. I had a very successful career doing that. As part of that, I was company director of, I set up and ran 23 companies in the UK, different businesses on behalf of clients mainly, and then 2 small American corporations as well. My artists had #1 albums, they toured the world, they headlined Glastonbury Festival as an example. So it was a successful career. And then about 17 years ago, I moved into higher education, and I've been an academic since then. I've won awards for teaching innovation, and I'm also active research-wise. My personal area of research is around the relationship between digital content and a live performance in music. So the rather strange picture there is actually taken at the Eden Project, where some of our courses are taught. That's of the tallest person in the whole audience, which is always the person that stands in front of me and then films everything on their phone. So it's interesting to think, are they, and I end up watching their phone because I can't see much of the stage because they're in the way, right? So am I having a truly live experience if I'm at an event watching the image on their phone rather than actually on the stage? That's kind of the nux of the crux of my research. Okay, enough about me. I've got some more to tell you. I want to tell you about our postgraduate study, and then we're going to open this up for questions. So we currently have the following postgraduate courses here at Cornwall Business School. We have 2 versions of MSc Entrepreneurship. These are both 1 year on-campus courses, one of which is part of our award-winning Launchpad program. So in Launchpad, students come together, they study an MSc, and at the same time, they also go through a process whereby they scope out and hopefully set up a high growth potential business. And then they enter our Launchpad ecosystem with other business starters, and they receive support. And the businesses that they start up are based in Cornwall, need to be headquartered in Cornwall for 5 years as part of our kind of requirements. But that's a really interesting course and startup program. So if you want more information on that, please look at the website. There is also an iteration of our MSc Entrepreneurship which doesn't involve starting up a business. So you might be interested in that if you are, for instance, looking to go further with your academic studies around entrepreneurship, perhaps go on to do a doctorate, etc. So we have that version of the MSc Entrepreneurship as well. And then in terms of online courses at master's level within Cornwall Business School, we have a very successful MA Creative Events Management online course, which has been up and running since 2017 and has graduates from all over the world in terms of events management practitioners. And then lastly, we have a MSc Sustainable Business online course, which is starting this September. Both of those courses are 2-year courses in there, and they contain 5 modules. So you do 5 modules over a 2-year period, and there are a couple of opportunities for face-to-face activities, one in Falmouth and one somewhere else in the world, which just give you a sense that for the events management ones, they were going to go to Malta next month. Unfortunately, they can't because of COVID, but in previous years, they've been to Venice, they've been to Berlin, and they also do events at Falmouth. So those are not mandatory, they're just opportunities as part of those degrees. Optional opportunities as part of those degrees. So I think you've heard quite a lot from me. Just going to give the last word to some students. Here's an image of some students within our Cornwall Business School facility. Here are some quotes taken from sort of formal surveys. What we're going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we will open this up for discussion.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you very much. It was really insightful. So we're going to be taking questions now. We have a lot of questions here already.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to start with the first one. So this is from Jai. He's asking, can I apply for my MSc with just my degree certificate since my transcript is not ready at the moment?
Yeah, so that's quite a technical question in terms of, but I think that should be possible. The thing to do is to contact our admissions team, and they will help you through that process. It's quite common practice for transcripts to follow behind, if you like, the actual sort of degree classifications. So I think that should be all right, but the best advice is to speak to our admissions team about that.
All right, thank you. Hi, everybody. If you still have questions, you can drop them in the chat box, so I'll read it when I get to yours. Thank you. So the next question, Andrian, this is from Afolabi. I studied quantity survey as my undergraduate course, which is more of an engineering course, but I would like to inquire if you have other engineering course related to, which is related to quantity survey or project management.
So we don't have any, we don't really have engineering courses at Falmouth, is the first thing to say. There's an element of project management sort of hardwired into our MSc Entrepreneurship, but only an element really. So if you're looking for a pure project management degree or a pure engineering degree, I'm afraid we don't do those.
All right, thank you very much. So this is from Benga. Could you please confirm if your offer for MSc in human, if you have offers? I think the question should be if you have a course in MSc Human Resource.
Okay, we don't have an MSc human resource in and of itself. Again, it's an element of our thinking within our MSc entrepreneurship and our thinking within our MSc sustainable business, but it's not a pure, neither of those are pure MScs in human resource management. So same answer, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you. So this is from Nora. She wants to know if you have any science course.
I'm really sorry, I couldn't quite hear what you said then. From Laura, and what were the costs? Nora, sorry.
Does Falmouth have any science-related course?
Science-related courses?
Yes.
I'm afraid not, no. So the majority of courses across Falmouth University are creative industries courses. Within Cornwall Business School, we've got the courses that I described, which are more business-facing, but bring creativity to play. So really it's our suite of entrepreneurial courses, business courses, experience design, etc.
Okay, I hope that answers her question. So the next one is, kindly confirm if you offer social work courses in postgraduate or master's level.
I'm really sorry, again, I couldn't quite hear the question.
They're asking if there's social work for PG.
Social work as in a course?
Yes, the course, yes.
Yeah, so at postgraduate, so we don't do social work courses either, I'm afraid. This is turning into a long list of questions about courses we don't do, isn't it? But it's good to get them off the table so that we're really clear where our focus is.
Okay, so this is another question. This person is saying, I would like to study business management or engineering business management at master's level. So I'm presuming he's asking for the entry requirements.
Yeah, so entry requirements is a case of a conversation with our admissions team. Obviously, we what we're looking for is equivalency with UK entry requirements. So the way of doing that is to have a look at the website and speak to our admissions team. But I'm really glad that you're thinking about our business and management course. That's fantastic news.
Okay. Oh, and this is a direct question. Is there any advice on how to find the best master's course for each individual? I would appreciate that.
Okay, so what I would say then is, I guess this partly depends on what you're looking to achieve. If you're wanting to go on to further study, or if you're looking to, post masters, or if you're looking to develop to take a master's that's going to help you with a specific career. Okay. So, and the question varies slightly between those two scenarios. So if you're looking for a career in, let's say you want to start businesses, so you're looking for an entrepreneurial career, then obviously you need to be looking at business management or entrepreneurship type courses. If you're looking for, so we had someone who was interested in being an engineer earlier, then I would say probably the route to go for them is to look at engineering type courses, although obviously entrepreneurial skills and activities are really valuable across all career types. Entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship, where you use entrepreneurial skills within an organization. If you're looking to have a career within academia, then I guess it's slightly similar in terms of, you should be looking at what interests you, what you're passionate about, and then looking at how you want to take that as a route into postgraduate master's level study as a stepping stone towards a doctorate. I hope that helps. It'd be really great if we can get to some questions which we can involve our students in answering. So let's see what the next one is.
All right, I think the students will be able to answer this. That's if they have a part-time job. So somebody's asking that, what are the part-time jobs that are available to students? Adija, are you working, or would you want to answer that? Or Judy, anybody?
Yeah,
Okay,
I can answer that. So
my course, it gives me a lot of flexibility as well. We do 2-3 days active teaching and learning, and there's a couple of days where we can drop in and ask her questions and get one-to-one support. So I am able to work weekends. Most of our students usually work in restaurants because all they need is a part-time job, but some of them as well work in tourist attractions, where they can already start getting industry relevant experience. I actually work at the Eden Project, which is the partner campus for Falmouth University. We learn there as well. We engage with them, and working there is just a great opportunity as well to get deeper knowledge and use my knowledge from university at work as well. So yeah, you are able to work a couple of days, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, I
Thank you
agree
very
with
much.
Judith. Sorry. I agree with
Khadija, you can go on, yeah.
Okay, I agree with Judith as well. Like, I study textile design of it, and obviously that's different from the business courses, but with most courses in Falmouth, it's integrated that you have briefs where you work with industry as well. And I'm currently a student ambassador, so I get to work with the university, so outside of my course as well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Khadija. Okay, this is for Andrian again. I think you've answered this before. This person is also asking, what is the minimum qualification for MSc?
So, well, it would be a degree. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
This is also linked. This one is also linked to the other one. What are the chances of someone who has a third class to get an offer in performing arts?
So in performing arts, so that would be in our Academy of Music and Theatre Arts. I did used to work there, but on music management and event management type courses, as opposed to within the performing arts ones. I think my understanding of what works within performing arts is that they do auditions. So I think that if you did a brilliant audition, then the fact that you had a third wouldn't necessarily work against you. Let's put it that way. So I hope that helps, but I'm not a specialist in that area.
Okay, thank you very much. So this person this is a really long question. Said he has heard of few cases of people that were denied visa because they chose to study a course that's quite different from their undergraduate course, and he would like to confirm if this wouldn't be a problem in his case. He's planning to study a different course from what he studied before. He wants to know if that will be a problem, if it will give him a visa refusal or something.
Okay, so I'm not an expert on UK visa processes. This isn't something I'd heard before, though, which hopefully will give some encouragement. I think it's about making a good justification, isn't it? And making connections between where you've gone before and where you want to go in the future. I would think that our admissions team would be able to help with more advice on this. I'm really sorry. I'm just not an expert on UK visa requirements.
Okay, so this person is asking, can we have an idea of the range of your fee? Tuition, the range of tuition.
Yeah, again, I mean, so I'm really here to answer academic questions around the course, and the students are here for questions around the student experience. So some of these questions that I'm getting are actually quite difficult for me to answer because they're just not within my sort of remit, really. In terms of the fees, they're published on the websites. And again, you know, I think it's worth a conversation with our admissions team. Be good if we could try and cherry pick. I'm just a bit conscious of time because I know we've only got a few minutes left. It'd be good if we could try and cherry pick the questions that do relate to either academic considerations, around the courses, etc., or around questions that the students can answer, just so that we can get as many questions as answered as possible in a kind of satisfactory way for you.
Okay, so most people are asking about their courses. Okay, let me ask this. Who are the top 5 employers after completing an MSc course in business? I don't know if Judith or Khadija knows that.
So our MSc entrepreneurship, we've only just introduced the on-campus version. So historically, it's been the Launchpad iteration, and in that, the top employers are all the businesses that they set up. Some of those businesses are in acceleration and are employing, numbers of people in addition to the graduates who set the businesses up themselves. So that's a kind of really positive story, I'd say, which is that on, as I say, on MSc entrepreneurship, to date, the top employers have been the businesses that the students themselves set up. And actually, Falmouth has a very high rate of business set up, one of the highest in the UK in terms of our undergraduates. And Launchpad is one of the ways that we kind of support that into the postgraduate environment. So it's a real spirit of entrepreneurship that sits around the Launchpad building, which is a fantastic, inspiring space, and the students work there.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so this question, Khadija, I think you should be able to answer this. So somebody's asking that can you describe why do I need to study at Falmouth instead of Nigeria? Or what's the difference for you since you're already studying there from Nigeria, since you're a Nigerian?
I think for me, it was definitely a case of opportunities. And again, the course I'm studying is obviously quite different to business because I study textile design, but I felt like with art courses specifically, I had a better chance of getting into the industry. And it's also just from a perspective of wanting to work somewhere else before I go back to Nigeria and work. So I sort of just wanted to go abroad and see what the industry is like somewhere else and gain experience before starting my own business someday. And it's also based on like the universities and what they offered, if that makes sense. So it wasn't more or less from a perspective of like country, it was more from looking at universities and seeing what they offered in terms of like how the course is taught and how the briefs are set up, and also just how the experience is as a student with the tutors. I hope that answers the question.
I thought that was a really good
All right,
answer.
thank you, Khadija.
It was brilliant that you alluded. It was brilliant that you alluded to that kind of entrepreneurial spirit that's so common in our students as well. That sense that you want to go and once you've been here, you want to go and then over time set up a business. So even though you're not studying within the business school, you've still got that brilliant entrepreneurial spirit. So thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you. So Judy, I think you can answer this. Can you give some of the examples of projects you've been working on at Falmouth?
Yeah, of course. So as excuse me, as Adrian was saying as well, we don't really do exams as such, but we are being assessed in a different way. And I just would like to mention 2 projects that I really enjoyed. And one of them was called Cornish Attraction Project, where we had a Cornish company, and we actually had to design a way to bring in more visitors, but also just come up with something that was entrepreneurial, and also our imagination could be put in. And we were working with the Eden Project, but the assessment was very amazing because we actually had contact and collaboration with Eden Project directors, and we took their advice and we made our plans where we had to pitch the idea to them. So it was a real life scenario like Dragon's Den, where you actually stand up in front of a bunch of people and you sell them your idea. and the sense of having that stress of presenting and presenting really well. It's quite stressful, but in the same time, it's doing it for real, because this is how you're going to sell yourself. And we were assessed on that one. And for me, I think it was just amazing that we could do that, because it prepared us for what's going to happen when we leave university. So that was one of them that I really enjoyed. And of course, at the time, I was a bit nervous, but now I think, wow, I mean, it had to happen that way. And the other assessment is quite recent as well. We had to demonstrate sustainability within the tourism industry also, and we had to publish our work, whether that was a paper or a blog, or any kind of publishment. And I've ended up writing a blog, and I published it on LinkedIn, and so many people actually reacted to it. But it prompted me to critical thinking, and it prompted me to dare asking those questions from the public about their way of living, the way of traveling, the way of sustainability. So that sort of, that was really good, because I had the freedom of writing about what I want to write about and pick up an issue that I was engaged with. So that was another assessment that I really enjoyed, actually.
All right, Didi, thank you very much.
That's
Thank
fine.
you so much. That's really nice. All right, so we'll probably take this last question because time is on our side. So can you tell us about accommodations in the school? Like, where do students get to live? As a student, are you living on campus? Are you living off campus? And like, if possible, what are the ranges for schools accommodation outside the campus?
Do you want me to start and then hand over to the students?
That's fine.
They can perhaps share what their individual journeys are in terms of accommodation. So Falmouth, and our partners have a range of student accommodation across both Penryn and Falmouth. So the two kind of towns that are sort of co-located, if you like. So there's a range of purpose-built student accommodation, both on campus and off, in different locations, with some variance around the price of the offer as well. And we guarantee our first year students accommodation in those if they want it. Not everyone does. So that's the sort of basic overview. And then if I hand over to our lovely students, they can tell you about their individual solutions, which may be similar, maybe different.
Yeah, in my first year, because I'm currently in my third and my last year, I stayed on an off-campus accommodation, but it was still sort of like a uni accommodation called the Sidings, and it was a 15-minute walk from campus, so that was nice. I could wake up and just like walk to campus or walk back. And obviously in first year, we had a lot of like events with societies where you meet people. So that was nice as well, the university just being a 15-minute walk away. And then for my second and currently my third year, I decided to move out of accommodation. And so if you don't want to stay in accommodation for second and third year, you can apply to rent houses with groups of people, either in Falmouth or Penryn. And I'm currently in a house with 4 other girls, so there's 5 of us. So there are ways, and also the university has like events during the ending of your first year where you, the event is basically meant to help you with looking for houses and what exactly to look for, and how to find good companies that you could rent from. So it's always good. The university is always there to help. You could always just message and ask if you need help. Another thing that I would like to mention as well is when I was coming in my first year, I was able to order stuff like pans and bed sheets and stuff, and that was delivered directly to the accommodation, so I didn't have to chug those down from wherever I was coming. So that was nice as well, especially for international students.
Okay, Judith, do you want to talk about yours too?
Yeah, just a quick word. So I was lucky enough to have friends in the local area. So I never actually lived on campus, but many of my course mates did, and they do love the fact that university campus is only a few minutes walk away. There is a local shop on campus. The buses are super great, so they can commute to towns and cities and have days out. So they are really not far away from anything. But for me, I just never lived there. I'm renting a property with a couple other people. So for me, it's not quite relevant there.
All right, thank you, Judy. I don't know if you still have time for this last question. This person is asking that he completed his business course, that's undergrad, in 2015, and he applied for a master's in the same business for 2022.
So yeah, if you've done an undergraduate course, you can absolutely apply for a postgrad, yes.
Okay, all right. Are there any scholarship opportunities that Nigerian students have to look out for in business course or at Falmouth in general?
So that's another one which is a case of speaking to the admissions team, who'll be able to help you and advise you.
All right, I think these are the ones that we do. Other ones are admission questions. So yeah, that's the end of the question.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you then. I'm really sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Like the questions remaining here are for admissions. So I've picked up the ones that looks okay.
Okay, no worries.
All right, thank you.
What I'd say then is our admissions team are really approachable, really happy to answer your questions. So it's just a case of, getting in touch with them really, and they will be able to help. We have an admissions portal so that once you've applied, you can continue to ask questions. So it becomes a dialogue between you and the university.
All right, thank you. Hi, Deepika, do you have any other thing to say?
Actually, thing to say.
Okay. All right. So thank you everybody for joining us today. It was very, very interesting sessions. If your question wasn't answered, you can always send us an email at Lagos As Study and we'll be able to answer those questions. I'm going to be dropping the email address now in the chat box. So you can always send us email and we'll have them answered for you concerning admissions and all. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Khadija. Thank you, Adrian. We hope to see you soon.
Thanks,
All
everyone.
right.
Hope to see some of you in Falmouth.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.